You're listening to Radio Long Island City, recorded at our studios near Hell Gate, 9 kilometers north of the Harbor Hill Moraine. And now, the Observatory. The Observatory, Monday the 6th of July, 2026. It is 15 days after the summer solstice. It is 78 days before the autumnal equinox. In today's episode, woodpeckers, a pope does the right thing, the beginning of the Beatles, Louis Armstrong, the Lavender Panthers, and the destruction of a visionary monument. Today's forecast, showers and possibly a thunderstorm. Chance of precipitation is 90%. High near 75 degrees Fahrenheit, 23.9 Celsius. East wind 11 to 14 miles per hour. The sun rises today at 5:31 a.m. Solar noon takes place today at 1 p.m. The sun sets today at 8:30 p.m. Civil twilight ends at 9:03 p.m. and nautical twilight ends at 9:45 p.m. The length of daytime today is 53 seconds, shorter than yesterday. The moon is in its waning gibbous phase and is 62% full at midday. The moon sets today at 12:03 p.m., and then it rises again at 11:57 p.m. The Earth reaches its aphelion today at 2 p.m. We are at our furthest distance from the Sun in our annual orbit. These are the predicted tides today for Horns Hook. In the wee hours, high tide, 3:17 a.m., 1 meter 46. In the morning, low tide, 9:26 a.m., 6 centimeters. In the afternoon, high tide, 3:47 p.m., 1 meter 55. At night, low tide, 9:58 p.m., 18 centimeters. This is the Monday Reservoir Report for New York City. The Delaware Watershed, Cannonsville, 85% full. Papacton, 90%. Neversink, 91%. Rondout, 94%. The Catskill Watershed, Schoharie, 67%. Ashokan, 91%. The Croton System, 99% full. In our shared realm of plants and animals, a male downy woodpecker was observed in Socrates Sculpture Park this weekend. They are small woodpeckers, about 6 to 7 inches long, with striking black and white plumage. The males have a dash of red on their heads. They will be wrapping up their breeding season, which began in February with males claiming territories and attracting mates. Come April, they carved a nest out of a hollow in the tree, and they laid eggs in May. By the end of June, the fledglings were beginning to leave the nests. The newly fledged young may continue following their parents around for the next few weeks. But this bird was solitary, so perhaps he's done with breeding for the year. Commemorations. A moment of tolerance. On this day in the year 1348, Pope Clement VI issued a papal bull during the time of the Black Death. The Pope made clear that Jews were not to blame for the plague, and he instructed the people to protect Jewish communities. When the plague began to devastate Europe during the 14th century, the population, in fear and under stress, looked for scapegoats. The previous century had been a time of cultural and economic flourishing, but as the situation worsened, the Jews were increasingly targeted in Europe. Interestingly, previously fairly open relations between the sexes, at least among the upper classes, hardened into stricter gender roles and the greater subjugation of women. It's what societies under stress tend to do. On this day in 1957, John Lennon, aged 16, and Paul McCartney, aged 15, were first introduced by their mutual friend Ivan Vaughan. Lennon's rock group, the Quarrymen, was performing at a church in Liverpool. On this day in 1971, Louis Armstrong died at his home in Corona. He was just 71 years old. His house remains a museum to this day, where you can see the small study where he recorded himself playing on a reel-to-reel tape recorder in order to hone his riffs. Remember Satchmo, great jazz trumpeter, and our neighbor today. On this day in 1973, the Lavender Panthers were formed in San Francisco. A gay Pentecostal evangelist, the Reverend Ray Broshiers, was the catalyst in creating the group of armed street vigilantes in response to repeated instances of gay bashing in the city. At the time, it was not safe for gay men or lesbians to report instances of crimes against them to the police. On this day in 2022, the Georgia Guidestones were heavily damaged by a bomb set by a vandal, and the remains were removed by the local government. The Guidestones were a massive stone monument built in 1980 by a man using the pseudonym Robert Christian. The 6 granite slabs stood almost 20 feet tall and have been referred to as America's Stonehenge. The monument was meant to be a guide for humanity to live harmoniously on the planet. 10 principles were inscribed on the slabs. They begin, "Let these be guidestones to an age of reason," and they include maintain humanity under 500 million in perpetual balance with nature. Unite humanity with a living new language. Let all nations rule internally, resolving external disputes in a world court. Balance personal rights with social duties. And they close with, be not a cancer on the earth. Leave room for nature. Leave room for nature. Our country being what it is, the monument was soon accused by some as being Satanist in nature. But we see them as the product of an interesting visionary, or a crank, depending on your point of view. Remember the Georgia Guidestones today. In the World Cup today, Portugal faces Spain in Arlington, Texas, and Team USA faces Belgium in Seattle. And that is the Observatory, Monday the 6th of July, 2026.